So you just came off a big win against Jeremy Horton. What was the fight like, and were you expecting something different from him?
The fight was a good fight, action-packed fighting. It's a tough opponent. I actually wasn't expecting anything different from him. I know he's good on the ground, but I know he didn't want to be on the ground with me per se. You know, he wanted to probably to stand on his feet with me, and I'm sure he has more experience than me on his feet, but I got a lot better on my stand-up. My kickboxing, my boxing, it's a lot better. It's not even the same level as I was, 6 months ago or a year ago. So, I was able to hang there and, draw him in and eventually try to take him down. I almost landed 2 really hard knees, but he got away from those. Eventually got him down with my inside trip takedown and finished him guillotine.
What's next for you in the UFC?
I have no idea what's next to him in the UFC. Let's see. The only 2 guys at 185 I prefer not to fight is Kendall Grove, Mike Bisping, them being my friends from the show. Other than that, whoever they bring on, whoever's next to me, I'm not sure. It's up to the management, it's up to the promoters, it's up to the UFC, and I'm ready for whoever it is.
Where do you see UFC or MMA going in 5 years from now?
My goodness, 5 years? I think that at this point, how it's going so fast, exponentially, I think that it might be what we can't even expect at this point. It's going so fast in the past 3 years. I didn't think it was going to go this fast. I'm very glad it has. I think it's going to surpass anyone's expectations.
Like a lot of people complain about the fighter pay and everything. Is that an issue to you, or do you just accept it as is?
Well, I mean, if you're a good businessman or you're selling yourself right, you always want to get paid more. But right now, I make money on front, from sponsors, endorsements. I make money from my fighting, and I make money from teaching, as well as being an instructor. So for me, I'm exploring all the different avenues that I can pursue at this point. Of course, I think it's going to grow. I think that it's getting better and better for the fighters now. I think so.
What's the biggest challenge for you as a fighter in life?
Biggest challenge for me as a fighter is just, you have your hard times and your good times in life. You have your times where, you win and everyone's on your side. Everyone's, oh, good job. And you have times where maybe you lose, or for whatever reason, maybe people aren't always following you. And it's just to realize that that's just life, and that's how people are. That's human nature. And just not to lose heart when you have a hard time in life. That's all. It's no big deal. That's just life. That's how life is.
What do you want to accomplish as a fighter?
As a fighter, I want to become world champion. If you're not fighting to become world champion one day, of course, only 1% of fighters will ever get there. But if you're not fighting to achieve that goal, or to try to achieve that goal, then I think that maybe you're in the wrong area. I mean, I want to be the best at what I do. The way I go about doing it, or the way that any one fighter goes about doing it, is not the same as any other fighter. There's not one way to do it, but I believe it's real important to have the top of the mountain in your sights. It's really important.
What's your training regimen and your diet?
Training regimen, my diet's too complicated, too long to talk. I mean, I try to eat sensibly, and I work out really hard, and I work out with good training partners, and we develop good strategies.
How did you get into mixed martial arts?
Got into it, also a very long story how I got into mixed martial arts. Being a little kid, I was growing up in Central and South America. Was very small for my age. Was very shy. I didn't speak Spanish. Now I do, but at the time I didn't speak Spanish. I was the new kid on the block, down there, the new kid in the area. And further on top of that, in Panama, for instance, our country was invading their country, and so I got in a lot of fights that I didn't provoke. It wasn't my fault at all, but it just got me into the mind frame that I wanted to learn to defend myself. From there, it was something that just stuck with me, and I got into high school, and I got to be real big and strong at age 16, 17, around that time. A late bloomer, but I got really strong. I passed all the other boys up in size and strength, and I don't know. I just got to where, coincidentally, I'm real gifted at jiu-jitsu. That's my groundwork. I'm really good at what I do. Mentally, I don't know how or why, but for me, that's like my art, and that's what I do. And I guess that's the overall short version of how I got into mixed martial arts.
I hate to ask this question, but it's like a popular thing to ask everybody now. What is your opinion on Kimbo Slice?
Kimbo Slice, actually, I heard he's a really nice guy. I've heard people say he's bad for the sport. Whatever, I don't know. I heard he's a real nice guy. I've heard from my boss Rutan that he works real hard, and I heard he's real strong. Hey, I have no beef with him. I've actually heard from people that I trust and know what they say. I've heard that he's a good guy. So nothing else more for me to say than that, actually.